All right. Good evening, everyone. I am Blackthorn. I am your narrator here at On the Edge of Shadow. This is Shadows Beyond the City, Session 2, The Reunion. After a harrowing trip into the Ebon Highlands there on the coast of the Iron Mist Sea, our party traveled north and escorted a group of fairfolk carpenters to their abandoned log cutters camp, and they found the place in a shadowy haze. Something horrible attacked them. They had made good time on the highway to the encampment and found three horribly sickened shadow uh, tainted fair folk, their kin. Um, they're they're bleeding from their noses. The blood is no longer red. Um, it was now black and like ink. Their teeth were black as if they were soot, and their fingers and toenails were also black. And through many tears of relief, they were able to patch these survivors up. From there, they traveled along a beaten track by some enormous fur, uh, a woolen ravager of some kind, and they found their way to the warlock's lair, trying to perform some profane ritual on a clay likeness of the maiden statue from the village. Some horrible, horrible thing. In a bloody in a bloody battle, our ogre hero slew the woolen ravager, but did not was not able to walk away from this encounter unscathed. The ranger, the Fairfolk ranger Aiden, was laid low by the woolen ravager, and with his last breath, he forgave the beast because for he knew that it was not the beast's fault, for it had fallen under the spell of the warlock. From there, the party gathers themselves, and from here, I turn you loose. Uh, Keith, would you describe your character for us, please?
Yes, I'm Keith, and I'm playing Orin. I am a Dusk Fairfolk priest of the Silent Monolith, and I'm also a Earth Warden, which is sort of I guess the closest you'd come to it be a sort of a druid type character. Um, Slender of build, mostly dressed in furs, earth tones and such, with sort of a rack of horns, because all fair folk have that. And I generally carry a bow, even though I'm just now sort of learning how to use it. I'm much more interested in healing. So,
Excellent. Thank you. Dave, would you introduce us?
Yes, I am playing Kirkfall. He is a kind of unique in his own way. I think he averages about 7.5 foot, 8 feet tall. Gray Sins, goat 8 feet tall. Excuse me. Goatee, black hair. He's kind of plain in features, but he is a very large man. But has decided to take an unusual path for such a large individual. Um, he prefers the darker side of poisons and daggers and backstabbing and the like. He is an assassin. So
And a filthy, rotten assassin at that.
I will have words with you.
words better than blades.
Ooh.
It may lead to that.
So, here in Ivazad the Corrupted's lair, now the place it previously smelt of incense, and you're not quite sure what kind, but now the place is covered in blood and reeks of a recent bloody corpse. Both of you have been brought to about 4 vitality each since the ensuing battle. And Ivazad's corpse, mangled by Kirkfall's weight, being built like a bulldozer, crushed to death. You do find on Ivazad's corpse an ebon dagger that is curved, not unlike the Yethite fashion, but it's sized for a human, I suppose. What do you guys want to do here?
I'm definitely going to be examining his ritual materials and such to see what kind of things this fellow was involved in.
Go ahead and make an occult insight roll for me.
Okay. A pair of 3s plus occult insight, which is going to be a 13.
Fantastic. He was actually trying to animate this likeness, and not you don't think he's trying to animate the clay likeness that he had sculpted in the center of the ring, but the way the orientation is in the circle, you kind of thinking he's trying to animate the statue from the village.
Ooh.
Yes.
In that case, I am going to very definitively smash this statue, this small.
Okay. All right. It doesn't take long, but the thing does shatter.
Hey! Wait a minute. That could be worth something.
That is an abomination, my friend. This is a
abomination that might be worth something.
Only to a dark sorcerer, and I don't think you want to deal with any of those.
Well,
you may think
sure. Keep going. You haven't sold me yet.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this, Kirkfall. I, being a priest, am not interested in the worldly riches here. Just a few of the herbs and such you may have. So the rest of the treasure you can have, but that definitely needs to be dealt with.
Why?
Because it may be a connection to the statue back in the Long Shadow Alley, in front of the tavern that we so love. It is possible that someone could make a connection and animate that thing and wreak havoc upon, well, my folk.
What's the statue made of?
The statue back home is actually made of a dark. Oh, here, it was made of clay, but now it's a small pile of gravel on the floor.
Well, I mean, that would have been really neat to give to the tavern owner.
True, but I feared that it would cause problems. Things that are tainted with the shadow tend to stay tainted with the shadow.
Well, all right. Now that I see it's clay, it's not really worth much. But as he turns to clean up the clay, I pick up the dagger and put it in my armor.
That's fine. If there's any if there's any useful herbs that are there, that's really all I'm after, and possible ritual materials.
Well, there is no small amount of that here. A short few meters away from the ritual ring, there is a desk and a long table about 6.5 feet long there that has a rack of drying herbs, just about anything that you could find on this continent in this region. Most are temperate climate in nature. However, there are 2 that you're not familiar with.
Really?
A yellow flower from God's nowhere, And you do find, I'm not going to make you roll for it, you do find 7 doses of poultices that you could use for apothecary tests to stabilize and to heal.
Okay.
7 of those. And how apothecary works in this system is to prepare medicine for a test to stop someone from bleeding or to heal them. It takes an entire day to prepare these herbs.
Okay.
What he has is 7 days of medicine prepared.
No, already prepared. Okay.
Yes.
So,
And what that means is they are poultices. They are dry, like tea leaves, tea bags, small vials of ointment, and other things that medicinal uses. Smoking herbs, for example. Well,
Anyway.
maybe. You do, however, find 12 vials of blood,
okay.
which, as a Fae, you understand those are vials of Fae blood.
Okay. I'll be taking those back to the temple then. So
You also find 30 gold
okay.
that are minted in the local fashion here.
Okay.
You also find gardening implements, healers' implements, candles, dried herbs, matches for said candles,
Ooh,
all
okay,
sorts
man.
of other things. And of course, the 6 half-spent candles that you had smashed over and broken in the ritual.
Right. Those may be tainted. I'm not sure if they would be, but just in case, I'm going to push those over to the side. The gold, I'm going to hand it to Kirkwall. Here you go.
30 gold?
Yes.
30, yep.
What about those? I see you got the poultices. I have no interest in those. But
okay. I can help with that.
You see me kind of leaning over your shoulder almost uncomfortably. And he's like, didn't I see some stuff that might be used for the opposite of what a poultice does?
Well, possibly.
One of the plants that you are not familiar with, I need actually Kirkfall to make me a lore test.
Okay.
Lore is based off of...
It's cunning, 2d8 plus just your cunning modifier.
Okay. I can't use apothecary?
No. This is just strict lore. This is you using your job to identify this.
So 11 plus, so a total of so a 12 in cunning gives me +8.
It's a +4 modifier.
+4, so 15.
Okay. The white flower there is called Moon Glove. Moon Glove is one of the most potent poisonous plants on this continent. That flower alone could possibly be rendered down into something absolutely vile and horrible. Just a few drops of that can lay about 30 guys low.
So as I reach over and, oh, this looks interesting. Probably nothing, but I'll take that.
Okay.
You do know well enough not to handle that with your skin. You're going to want a glove for that.
Yeah, I grab one of the pieces of burlap sack that he has there and pick it up with that, and then wrap it and put it in my wrap it up well and put it in my my pouch.
Okay. What you do know of this plant is it actually attacks the respiratory system. It will essentially make you suffocate in your own rib cage.
And just curious, is it like a moonglove sprig or is it a full plant?
It's a full flower.
Okay, a flower then. You said that. So it's not much, but I could grind it into something.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll gather the rest of the herbs and such together, and I guess find one of the burlap sacks to properly bundle them and place them in there so that they're not, in some cases, contaminating each other if that's a problem. I know in most herbals and such, you don't want certain plants touching each other because they cause bad reactions. So
No, we don't want that.
So gather those up, and of course, once I get that done, I'll look over at Kirkfall and, are you injured? You seem to be limping a bit.
A little bit.
Ah.
Okay, a lot.
Okay. Well, let's see what we can do about that. So I'll start taking some of the already prepared poultices and doing with those is what needs to be done to prepare a poultice for him to help him with his injuries.
Fantastic. He's not bleeding, so your apothecary test should be just 12.
Okay. I'm gonna do my roll for that. Oh, I got an 8 over there.
Fantastic.
Okay, 4, that's 12 plus 6. That's going to be a basic roll is going to be a 18 plus my apothecary skill, which is an additional 8, so a 24.
Okay.
So tomorrow he'll feel better.
Fantastic. And for every day of light activity, you gain 1 vitality. That's natural healing. After being administered and tended to by a skilled apothecary in this case, you add the apothecary's spirit modifier to the natural healing rate.
Okay, you get a +1. My spirit isn't very high. It's tall and cunning and tight. So,
where's your spirit?
Whole 6.
No, I said, where is your spirit?
Oh, where's my spirit? I don't know.
I like that portrait, by the way.
Thank you.
That's very spot on. I really like that. All right. I actually need both of you to make an awareness test real quick.
Okay. I have an 18.
Ooh, okay, perfect.
17.
17. All right, yeah, you both actually see this. You actually get in the flickering torchlight there a glint off of a silvery sheet of what looks to be crystal. It looks like a floor-length panel that's under a navy blue, kind of night purple sheet standing against the wall opposite the ritual there.
Be careful with that. Quick occult insight to see if there's anything I know about that being used for any kind of various purposes.
Okay.
That would be a 15 on that.
Okay. It looks like a mirror.
Okay. Are there any known problems with mirrors as far as I know of? Things that I should worry about? Could it be like a trap possibly?
Not that you are familiar with.
Okay.
You've heard rumors of arch wizards of the many different pillars communicating with mirrors.
Oh, okay.
Almost like a Palantir from Lord of the Rings, if you will, or a crystal ball of some other variation.
Okay. It could be valuable, but I think we should get covered, Kirkfall.
It does have a gold border around it.
Okay. There's rope in this area, isn't there?
Yeah, he's got about 150 feet of hemp rope.
I'm going to take some pieces of rope and inexpertly tie it around this thing to keep the cover on it.
Okay.
I don't have any knotwork skill at all.
oh my God! You don't have any knot work. Okay.
Can I give him a hand with that?
He doesn't know his knots.
No, not at all.
Well, he didn't grow up near the docks, after all, or know how to tie someone up.
So,
Do you want to try that?
Would that be just physique, or what?
Well, everyone knows how to tie a square knot, but if you're trying to say do a wreath band knot or any kind of sailor's knots, that requires graded knots.
Oh,
But if you're
I mean, I
trying
can help
to,
him, I guess.
yeah, okay. That's a +1 if you want to help him.
okay. I'll make my roll. And
You said 8s explode?
Yes, they do. Well, that actually gives, if you're going to help him, Keith rolls, and Keith adds an additional +1 because you're there.
Gotcha. All right.
Well, actually, I'll try it first, and then if I don't do it, I'll probably just back off and let you do it.
Okay.
And that's based off physique, correct?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. 8.
8? Oh, shit.
9 with the +1. So, yeah,
Okay.
I'm not doing very good.
So the sheet falls to the floor.
Oh, no.
And reveals a beautiful crystal mirror that has a gold border around it, and it has images kind of formed into like gargoyles or you see other things like you kind of see like a mermaid in there or other beasts within the gold border. And as soon as you're standing before the mirror as you're with a rope in your hand, and you've knocked the mirror to the floor. No. You've knocked the sheet to the floor. And within the mirror, you see kind of the swirling mist actually begin to form. And out of the mist, you hear a voice, kind of a rasping voice say, "Have you completed the ritual regarding the statue?" And you see a somewhat skeletal face kind of lean in through the mist, but doesn't come through the mirror. And you see it is a humanoid skull, but around its head, almost as if it's wearing a crown, it's almost a laurel of small gold horns in a crown, but they do in fact sprout from the skull. What do you do?
Sorry, I contacted you accidentally and go to grab the.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Actually, we need an advancement on the funds again. There's been a little hiccup. So if you could advance the payment once again, there's obviously that we've run into some trouble, and he's busy right now. He's very busy. So what do you think?
You see this skeletal figure again step closer out of the mists, and you actually see what looks to be like some nightmarish undead abomination there, clad in tattered robes, almost put together out of furs and a burial shroud. And the thing kind of narrows its like hellfire blue gaze upon you, Kirkfall, and it rasps, "Ivazad did not say that he was hiring henchmen for any tasks. I did not authorize this move. Who are you, and where is he?"
Well, Ivazad is indisposed at the moment. He's in the bath, actually, but and I'm doing my best to keep my cool, actually, at this point.
I don't think Kirkfall's ever seen undead before in person.
No. I have dealt with very shady figures, and I'm trying to talk my way out of something here.
I need
So-
you both to make a spirit roll, please.
Can I roll a deception with that? Because I'm trying to deceive.
You're gonna have to roll deception here. No, spirit first, then deception, please.
My spirit is a 6.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh, it's gonna be brutal.
So I got a total of an 18.
Oh, you both gain 4 shadow points.
Oh no.
How's that?
You failed your light roll.
That was a rough check. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Now for deception, please. Oh god.
That was the deception.
Oh, the deception was 18?
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
excuse
Or
me.
I can roll the spirit first if you want that.
Oh, you're gonna need to do both. Excuse me.
Okay, so the spirit roll would be 18. I gain 4 shadow points then,
Right. Okay.
I guess.
Mhm.
14.
14
So
deception.
actually, that's a total of 20 for deception. So
Oh shit. All right. Either way, he does call your shit. So he just looks at you and says, "Is that so?"
well, there's a lot of blood in the sacrifices and the like. You can only imagine, right?
I understand. There's in his tone now, there is a malevolent amusement. You can tell
And
he's like
Dave
he's
is
not
laughing, not Kirkfall. So and I lean over to Oren and say, see if you can get ready with the sheet to pull it back over it, but get out of view. And I said, servants, you know how they are. I mean, he's just one of the willing victims for bloodletting.
I'm going to bow my way out of the view. Sort of
How do you bow?
At the waist, and sort of bow, as I'm backing up to the great Kirkfall assistant to the necromancer, whatever he is. Now, as far as this figure, would I know any lore about what this thing might actually be? We're doing like an occult insight roll for the.
Go for it. Yep.
Figure that out.
Occult insight.
Oh, much better. Let's see. That's going to be a 14 on that.
That is a White Lord.
Oh, they're very, very dangerous, powerful things. Yes, of course, yes. I'm getting ready with the sheet quickly. Put it back over the mirror. I'll hold it up off to one side to wait for Kirkfall's signal.
All right.
How might I address you, Lord? I'm new to the operation. He calls me Herbert.
Herbert.
Why are
That's
you
another
laughing?
deception roll.
Oh, the White Lord's not laughing. It's
No. The narrator is laughing. Rafe is the fucking. Excuse me.
I got a total of a 10 on deception.
He just if this terrifying asshole could if he could smile any more than a skeleton would, he's amused, and he's waiting for you to dig yourself deeper.
Well, we won't be needing you then if there's no money involved. So you can take your leave.
There will be plenty of money in it for your kind.
Oh, well, I mean, advancement now would be great.
If Azad did not pay you.
You know, Ivasad.
Hmm.
That
I'll
one
be
is
seeing you shortly,
15
I
total.
suppose.
Shortly, you're on your way then.
He his image kind of shimmers in and then shimmers out into the mist, and there's nothing there anymore.
And I look over at Oren and I start shaking my head like this.
Cover it.
And I go over to the barrel in the corner that's full of water, and I just dunk my head directly in it for a second, just blow out. Because I'm probably puckering, and I lift my head up and I look at him. What did I just do?
You just negotiate with a White Lord.
Oh, fuck. And then I put my head back in the barrel of water. I just bring my head up, and I'm like, we should probably get going.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to take the mirror with us or leave it here?
I think we should shatter the crystal and take the gold ringlet.
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay. And I walk over there and I grab one side, and I don't even wait for him. I just take it to the edge of something and just hit it right on some sharp point in the center of the crystal.
Nice table over there.
No, there's actually a boulder just nearby, so you don't have to roll for it. You can pick the whole goddamn thing up and shatter it. And now you're left with a kind of a gold frame in it. That's about it'd be a floor length mirror, so it's about 5.5 feet tall.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Now, I look at Oren. Do you think you could sell these crystals?
I don't know. I'll look at them. Is there anything special about them I can tell? Would that be like a wild boar? Or
You actually might not want to. Some of that smoke is still swirling within them.
Ew. Yeah, we need to leave those here and actually start kicking dirt over them.
Maybe we should put them in the fire.
That might not be a good idea. Just in
All right.
case.
Start. I lean the frame up to the side and actually take my sword and just kind of hack out the remaining crystal, and we just sort of grab like a skin of some sort and start scooping it up into the skin, and then just pour it into a fire cauldron or whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll stoke the fire.
All right. The fire's actually over by where you left the broken and bloodied Ivazant. There, in his left hand, there is a kind of a purple glowing shard that his hand is still death gripped on.
Huh.
And there's kind of a pulsing there, and you actually do feel the magic from the shadow pillar within this whole thing.
Oh, yes. Don't touch that. That's bad. That's really bad.
Okay, so I reach down and I grab him by the wrist and just start hacking off his by his forearm. I just start cutting off.
Okay. It won't take you long to amputate his hand.
Mm-hmm.
That long piece of cloth that was covering the mirror, I'm going to use that to basically wrap his hand in.
Okay.
And make sure it's fully covered in a couple of good layers. And
okay.
So it's not going to be touching anyone directly.
All right. You'll essentially have like a ball of laundry that's about 8 inches in diameter there.
Basically, yeah. So, and I'm going to take that and put it in a sack all by itself. And I'll let the cooker phone said, this needs to go back to the temple, I believe. There's something bad in this. It needs to be dealt with properly. They'll probably pay you for helping.
He actually lights up at that.
Okay.
Is there anything else of use or worth on the big V?
On his corpse?
Yeah.
Not as such.
Okay. So I'll take this stuff in the bundle of herbs and bundle them up, and I think we probably need to put some distance between us and here before we rest too much. Not too far, just enough to where we're not right here.
Is there any oil or flammable liquid of some sort in here?
No, he does not have anything like that. There's plenty of brush and firewood. Excuse me.
I was wanting to burn the place.
Okay.
Well, there's a fire, and we just stoked it a little bit. So I grabbed one of the logs and just start going around and just catching the remnants in there on fire.
Okay. You are kind of beneath the ground in a kind of hollowed out ravine. So and it rains relatively often. So that's the brush fire that would ensue probably wouldn't get very far.
Good.
But it'll stay in the cave. Sorry, Keith, I cut you off there.
I approve this. Yes.
And at that point, we need to move.
All right. What do you do with Aiden's corpse?
Orin, is it improper to burn their corpses?
He should be returned to the earth. So we should take him with us and put him in a grave.
All right, so I just grab him up by the arms and just throw him over my shoulder and begin walking out.
Okay. You exit the warlock's lair and you walk out into a rainstorm. It's not nearly as bad as your first night in the Long Shadow Alley, but it is in fact raining rather heavily. As before, it'll be about a 3-hour cross-country walk back to the log cutters encampment. Do you actually want to head there or straight back to Felport?
Let's go back to the log cutters encampment first. We have people left there, so they can help us bury the body and such, and I'm sure they'd want to be part of that.
All right, perfect. 3 hours later, you guys get back there, and the artisans are busy repairing their buildings that were originally bombed out and burnt down. There is one section of kind of a spiked barrier that they're digging a ditch, not unlike a Roman country fort, that ditch, and then just above the ditch there is a spiked barrier around it, because they're not going to have any more of this BS that they had before. They're going to make sure they're dug in there like a tick from now on. But they're very saddened by the one ranger that they had as their watchman. And they're willing to bury him. They give him all of the rights of a follower of the Silent Monolith, and
quickly.
Oh yeah, there's aside from Orin, there is no other priest to give him last.
How fast can you talk, Orin? Would you like some coffee?
Pretty quickly. It didn't take very much.
Okay.
We don't need an all-day ritual, so don't worry.
Our job was to investigate this, not like be the salvation to this camp. So we need to quit this place quickly.
Well, we should at least get a night's rest, shouldn't we?
I think that you called him a white lord.
Yes.
And I kind of...
Where are you guys speaking in relationship to everybody else? Is this a private conversation?
I would imagine that I'm leaning over quietly conversing with him. And as I said that, I felt my skin goosebumps sort of come up as I say that. And I kind of look around like I thought I heard a wind circle us. He said he's coming and he'll see us shortly. So I think that he's aware of where this place is and we should leave.
Well, we really can't leave these fellows here. They should really go back with us.
They can come back with us if they'd like, but they need to leave as soon as we get the body interred.
Then definitely we should definitely have yes.
So
We'll do the ritual. We'll inter him, and then I'll let them know that we need to head back to Felford.
Well, how about you start the ritual, and while you're in the process, I will hurry them along in their task.
Okay, that'll work.
All right, and I reach down, kind of grab your arm a little roughly, and shake you in like a warrior's grip, and I turn and begin going up to the whoever looks in charge, and I say,
That would be you guys. Technically, Aiden was in charge, but he's dead now.
okay. So I go to the one that looks the saltiest of all of them, and
besides Oren of the Fair Folk.
well, I mean, isn't there one of them that seemed to be taking the lead on the digging operations?
One of them, yes, but he was one of the Fae that was stricken with the shadow sickness.
So he's still sick.
He looks a little better, but he's still he looks pretty whipped.
Okay. All right. So I'm just like, I just go like whistle.
Okay.
Circle up.
It takes him a few moments, but you got a crowd of 11 people there.
So I'm going to walk over to the barrel while they're walking up and fill one of the pitchers full of ale, and kind of put my foot on one of the benches while they're coming up and take a big swig out of it. He doesn't look so good, does he? Point to the guy that looked whip.
He kind of just looks down at himself, and he just like rarely shakes his head.
Yeah, you need a night with a good woman, hot food, in the safety of a stronghold or a city, and that's where we mean to take you. For the time being, we need to quit this place. Our purpose here was to investigate the circumstances, not and solve the initial issue, which mostly I did the work, but Oren did a hearty job in the process, and Aiden fought valiantly to the death. I'll have you know. But
they kind of look at you confused.
There's a foulness to this wood, and danger is coming. It is very imminent, and you need to get everything that's dear to you quickly. You have 5 minutes starting now. As I pick up start looking at the blood flecks on my arm, and I start guzzling the pitcher. With all seriousness, out as I said that,
the fair folk that are actually well, they kind of look at each other and they look back at you and said, the high priestess told us that you were hired to escort us here. Our place is here to gather lumber for the village. Why is there a new threat? What comes out of the darkness now and assails us?
I yell from the place where I'm doing the ritual, necromancers. Do the ritual.
There's kind of this, oh god.
So what was the guy's name again? Vitoris, or the guy we killed?
Oh, good question. Where did I put that at?
Rafe?
His name is Ivazad.
Evazad.
I wrote down Herbert, not Evazad.
So Evazad, was he part of your group beforehand? Does this name ring a bell?
No, no. You do recall that Ivazad is actually a human. They would generally not know him.
Okay. Well, foul magics, necromancy, were being performed just 3 hours from here. Hence the reason you're contracting this sickness. Obviously, this is up to you. We have delivered you safely to this camp as per our mission. That was our job, and we have done that job. But our strong suggestion is that you not stay here, because this is there's a foulness that's coming, and but that's up to you.
There's kind of a murmur that goes amongst the crowd, and the one that you addressed earlier, the second one, just kind of looks down at his fingernails, and he's kind of got that like Saving Private Ryan kind of hand shake to his hands, and he just kind of looks at the rest of them through his kind of bloodshot and black glazed over eyes, and says, I'm just done. He's still looking at his fingertips. I want to go home. And he just starts bawling.
Can I get a persuade, by the way? That would be perfect to end it all.
Please, go for it.
I got a total of a 7, but
okay.
You know.
Oh, what are you gonna say with that?
Well, I was giving them the speech to persuade them, so that's what I was giving it for.
Okay. The group kind of decides in and of it. I mean, amongst the ones that are not sick, they decide that they do wish to stay to aid their village, but the ones who've been sickened by the darkness do need to go back to the village.
Okay. Upon completion of the ritual, I'll come over and look at them, and hearing what they're saying, I'll say, gentlemen, I understand the honor of being sent out here to collect wood for the village, but remember, there's a ship day and a half back that some of your compatriots are still working on. We could all carry that back, and none of you would have to die, because I fear that if we leave you here, when we return, you will not be here. You'll all be slain.
And I step up behind him and just sort of give this ominous figure behind him, like, reinforcing what he's saying.
Should I do persuade now for that?
You can roll persuade, yes.
8.
8?
Yeah.
Oh God. How do I want to say? The drive to see their people back from decline and extinction is a white hot flame in their breasts here, and a couple of them actually grip their long axes kind of with a white knuckled grip that actually shows rather well through the dark gray skin, and they just look at each other and say, "We're staying."
I didn't want to do this. In. And I look at Orin and I'm shaking my head. I didn't want to say it. That White Lord said he was on his way. He'd see us shortly.
Yes. We did encounter, Ifazad's apparent mentor when we were there. We barely escaped with our lives, but I do honor your commitment, brothers. I understand we marched a long way to get to where we are now, and we face many dangers. And I see that determination in your eyes that kept our people going. If you truly wish to do this and stay here, I only ask that you move to camp. Don't leave it here. Find another clearing nearby and set up there. So hopefully, when the forces of this White Lord arrive, they may overlook you.
The group of the unsickened, they do kind of they nod at that, kind of acknowledging that yes, there is logic. We should actually move the camp, but no one says anything. But one of them says, perhaps we could move a few days north, along 3 days along the highway. After the highway stops, he kind of stammers off, deeper into the woodlands. We would be closer to the foothills. It would put us closer to where the Umbriad holds are located beneath the mountains, but, well, our shadowy cousins rarely come up from under their mountains anyway, and most of the mortals are superstitious of the mountains. We would be quite safe.
That is true.
They kind of just look at each other and then look back at you two, and they nod to you and say, "We'll move 3 days north and on the edge of the foothills."
I'll take word back to Felport then, and let them know that you've moved camp and where you've moved to, so that they know where to send supplies.
Okay.
And I will speak fondly of your souls, for your stupid but brave. As I finish my drink and slam it down on the table, and I go over to the cart that we've procured, and we start putting our stuff into it.
You have to forgive him, brothers. He does not know our ways, and he is, after all, just a bit of an oaf. And I go help.
The one that had initially spoke is the fair folk that the one that was the unsickened that spoke first. His name is Hragan. He looks at Orin right in the eyes, and he points to the ground, and he says, 3 days north from this spot. And then he just starts, he kind of almost like self-elects himself in charge, and he starts barking commands to the rest of them, and they it's 20 minutes. They break this place down, throw it in the carts, and they're on their way out.
Okay. I'll give them a quick blessing as they're going along. Just a little prayer to Salt Monolith to watch their steps and to firm their ground, and then we'll head the other direction. So,
what did we do with the Cavalier's corpse?
You actually left Altix on the beach, I think.
well, I thought I was actually riding him here. I thought.
Well, that's the
right.
hobgoblin. The
Oh yes, yes.
the
We
map.
buried the hobgoblin there.
Oh, I thought you guys left him on the beach.
Oh no.
The tide would have got him. But no, you the artisans probably would have hooked the wandering beast up as an extra beast of burden for them.
That's true. So, yeah, I definitely would have buried him with a seed of some kind of tree, since that was their tradition. So,
Okay.
so yeah, I would not have left a compatriot be taken by the sea. That's just a horrible fate.
Yeah. Well, and if that, we just left the boat on the beach, or did we leave some to take it back?
You left 4 of your number plus a cart to render that ship down.
Okay.
From what you're understanding, you could probably get 2 small hovels out of a long ship.
Yeah. So that's where I would suggest we make for the night. See if we can get there.
I agree.
It's actually been about 16 days before then, so if they actually did a good enough job, that ship might not actually be there anymore.
Okay. We'll head that direction. If we happen to find them, we'll find them. If not, we'll keep on going.
Fair enough. Does anyone have grades in traveling?
Do I have grades in traveling? I think our person who had grades in traveling died.
Oh, yeah. Well, damn it, Aiden.
So,
We go that way.
You keep the sea on your left and then travel down.
right.
All right. If that's actually what you do, keeping the sea on your left, it'll take another 16 days to get back down.
Okay. Of course, we'll be traveling light the first few days and resting often to apply salves and whatnot to injuries. So
Okay.
I most likely will be riding in the cart primarily.
Okay. They actually, you guys had 2 carts. The artisans took the other cart with
Right.
them north, and you left the other cart with the ship.
Okay.
So you guys are just walking at this point.
Okay. So yeah, we'll take it slow at first.
Okay.
So as we heal, if you know. So hopefully by the time we get back to town, we'll be at least halfway presentable as far as health wise goes.
Okay. Light travel to get all the way back down to the Long Shadow Alley will actually take you the 20 days full travel. And you will get back in the evening on the 20th day. If you actually mark down on your calendars.
It'll be up to all.
This will actually be the second mandrake of the month of fires. You guys are getting very close to this end of the cycle.
Okay. Let's see here. Where is that at? Month of fires. Anything special going on in the month of fires?
Mostly fertility festivals in the west.
Oh, fertility festivals?
In the west.
Oh, in the west. Okay.
We can celebrate it in Fellport. Come on.
Not your religions, no.
Okay. Well,
anything but the 5 gods in the Ebon Vale is illegal. Illegal worship, actually.
Son of a...
okay.
But since you've actually gotten to know some of the artisans here, some of them actually do worship Feldane in secret.
Wonderful.
The god of night, of course.
Yeah, I would probably know that, seeing as that's common among my people. But yeah, that always really surprised me. I will, of course, try to bring them on the proper path.
Yeah, right.
Just
on your way back down, they actually they have rendered the ship down. That there's nothing left but a divot that is partially washed away by the tides.
Okay.
You guys enter the Long Shadow Alley on the evening there. It's about 10:40 in the evening once you get back.
Okay.
And home sweet home.
Yes. Obviously, go to the inn.
Of course.
Well, we need to get paid first, don't we?
Well, true. But I would assume going to the inn, we could actually send someone for our payment if we need to.
Well, I do have 11 scalps that I want to deliver to them.
That's true. Oh, that's true. That is true. And a hand.
You did actually take some scalps.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Ooh.
So.
Oh, and we could have. Oh well, it's too late now. I should have taken the guy's scalp, the Evazov.
Ifazad, yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'll of course report into the temple that I'm back,
Okay.
and I let them know that I have something of great import that the high priest should come see,
Okay.
and I need a bath.
Well, fair folk are actually nocturnal, so this is actually kind of like
Yeah.
10 o'clock in the morning for them.
Okay. So yeah, I'll be letting them know that, and then I'll be heading over across the street to the inn for a bath, and they might want to send, or the high priest may want to, if he's busy at the moment, when he frees up, just send for me.
All right.
So, and then I guess hiring a young boy as a messenger to go find the head lady.
Oh, the village elder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll toss him a couple coppers when the boy's outside, and say, go let her know that her people are back from the north.
Where do you deposit the 3 sick and injured individuals?
I would let me see the most logical place possible. Maybe would the temple be involved in
The
nursing
temple
the
would.
sick? Okay, yes, then I will take them there.
Okay. Yeah, the priests there are a little astounded that these guys are still alive. And
Well, do you want me to do a basic apothecary roll to see if I was able to, how well I was able to keep them alive?
no, you don't need to. You were able to administer to them as best you could, but you're not able to lift the shadow, if you will.
Yeah, that's something I'm yet capable of doing. Okay, so I'll do that.
Not yet, mind you.
So I'll do that and get some ale and a good food, and see if I can get a bath purchased. So.
Oh, you absolutely can. You guys are given warm meals, more fish, mind you. That's the staple diet of the Ebon Vale. And someone actually killed a boar earlier that morning, so there is that. There's plenty of red ales, red wines, that sort of thing, so you can actually get yourself. And this, because you're not exactly local heroes, but they do know that you are working for the church and the betterment of the fair folk here in the village. They do express their gratitude. You are not able to buy drinks at this time. Some of the fair folk here are more than happy to buy you a glass, a bottle, a growler, what have you.
Yeah.
And Therian brings out the infamous ogre cup for he goes, don't drink it all, leave some for the rest of us, but this one's on the house. You guys take it easy.
Okay. So I'll partake in a bit of ale, but I'm not going to overdo it. So
Okay.
Take the edge off a bit. So
there is not because of the rain per se, but due to your shadow sickness, there is a sickening, sinking cold feeling that's kind of been in the pit of your chest, and it's almost really biting at your heart since your encounter over the past couple chains here. It doesn't feel good, but warm meal and maybe a few nights rest would actually help.
So yeah, I'll be getting as close to the fire as I'm allowed, because I'm sure the owner of the inn is probably in his usual spot.
Yes, he's in his chair, staring into the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So it says that 4 grades, characters on death's door.
Yeah.
So we're actually in. We feel like we're gonna die.
No. That's zero vitality there.
Oh, so we start out at 5 and then we're down at 1. Oh, that's exhaustion. I'm sorry, I'm reading this on wrong side. Just trying to read up on.
Oh no, you guys aren't exhausted yet. You guys aren't you guys should be close to full vitality at this point. You guys are fine.
This is
Okay.
more of the feeling of our soul.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well, you looked a being of death in the face for a few moments, so that's gonna scare just about anybody. But Therian, the pirate satyr, does bark at everyone that's harassing you and going, "All right, everyone, leave them be. They've done a task for the church. Back to your seats. Let them rest."
Okay.
And there's kind of this mournful, like, all right, as he, the satyr, shoos them away.
Well, if anyone asks, I'll give a highly edited version of what occurred.
Okay.
There was a mad human that was attacking the fair folk at their camp, and that's
Okay.
why they've been going the way they were.
All
And
right.
and there was also a disease.
Oh,
So-
are those the only points that you actually make?
Basically, I'll give a little bit,
Okay.
a little bit more elaboration on that, but that's not. I'm not going to say necromancer, white lord, sacrifices, shadow sickness. That I'm not going to start a panic. Basically,
Okay.
Oh,
As
that's
a
what I'm gonna say.
as a fair folk of your kin, anything beyond those 2 points would be considered uncouth
right?
for public knowledge. But you guys are treated to a quiet evening. Well, I put quiet in air quotes there. And Folduin finally gets up from his chair. He walks over and he puts almost like an uncle putting his hand on on Oren's shoulder. He goes, "Well done, pup. Well done."
Thank you.
And he leaves the bottle. It's actually a new bottle. This is the top shelf wine that he was drinking previously, and leaves that in front of you. And he says,
Okay.
"Finish this."
Okay. I'll
He
pour
takes-
myself. I'll pour a glass, and then I'll look over at the large mug of my companion there. Look at the bottle, and just slide the rest of the bottle over toward him. I'll finish the glass.
I'll pick it up and give him like a cheers move.
Okay. And I'll finish the wine. I will savor it. I will not take it.
Oh, this is a sipper. This is a sipper. Folduin takes a couple steps in the direction of what you assume to be the back of the house where he actually lives, and he kind of sweeps his right hand in an arc towards the rest of the tavern. "Good night, all." He walks through the door and closes it quietly behind him, and the rest of the bar patrons lift their mugs, their glasses, and cheers, and they go say, "Wish him good night." And a few moments kind of hangs in the air, kind of like that mournful hang, and then slowly a few moments later, the conversations of the tavern kind of build up, and it evens out to that low mirth, that melancholy of the place here.
Okay. That melancholy sort of sinks into the soul since our shadow sickness is there.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
it's a soothing feeling here, being amongst these almost sad but optimistic people.
Okay. Okay. I'll shortly after that take my leave myself, go up and do some, I guess, morning prayers since we're nocturnal before I take myself to rest.
Oh yes. And your rooms are paid for. The maids here kept your rooms exactly the way they were supposed to be.
Okay.
When Kirkfall finally gets up to his room, he is met with a fresh bed mat pillow nest thing because they don't have ogre mattresses. They've got this big ass air mattress futon cushion thing on the floor. Maybe like a foot and a half thick. But does Kirkfall actually stay up? And I mean, he is able to get heavily intoxicated.
Well, no, he actually, since he left that bottle at the table, he kind of lifts his mug as Orin is heading upstairs and finishes it off, and he picks up the wine bottle and he goes out for a walk by the docks.
Okay. The Long Shadow Alley only has 2 docks that are both about 60 feet long. So it's not like the extensive maze of the harbor district in Fellport proper, but it's on the water. You can get out there.
Yeah, and he's not going to go to the water. He's just going to go out by the docks, and
okay,
because it's kind of like being close to who he once was, and he walks the alleys of the small shacks that serve as warehouses, and just kind of retraces some of his steps as he sips this bottle. And he's not getting sloshed. He's definitely aware because unsavory folk walk these areas at night. But he's just kind of in his thoughts as to what just happened, and
Okay. He's having a relaxing walk in an evening rain with a drink is what he's doing.
Yeah, and he kind of stops by the place where he grew up, and so on. It's just, for him, it's just memories. He's remembering things.
Okay. So you're actually going to enter the city proper, not stay in the village?
I think I'd need to, right?
Yes, you can't get to the docks where you grew up from the village. There's actually a wall there.
Yeah, so I'm going to enter the village.
Okay. The guards here at least know your face, so they don't accost in any way. How long is he actually out there in the harbor district, if you will?
Well, how long of a walk is it to there?
Oh, about 40-minute walk.
So probably about 3 hours total, including the travel distance.
Okay. You probably are gonna finish that bottle before you get back, unless he nurses it in a way where he finishes it once he gets back to the tavern.
Yeah, he's just nursing a buzz along. He's not trying to stay sloshed.
Okay.
Because he is aware of the nightlife and the fact that even though he's big and imposing, small, repeated strikes could take him out. So,
you walk along the docks. There are a group of either pirates or sailors, a mixed race of ebonies, bearded folk, and there's a couple fae here, and they're kind of huddling around a group of barrels, drinking, shooting the shit, talking shit, smoking. One of them kind of looks up. One of the bearded folk looks up, takes a long drag off of his pipe, and then nods to you, but goes back to his dice game. As the hours pass, you walk by a couple alleyways, and you walk by a couple that are having a few intimate moments in an alleyway in the rain. You walk by the great market that has people kind of they've set up small tents around their kiosks. Some people actually live in the market district. It's almost a small tent city within the city. You walk by one of well, the most popular tavern in Felport, which is the Devil's Rest Tavern. All of the seedier individuals. This place is renowned for its thieves, its assassins, smugglers. It's a smuggler's den, and some rumored to be an opium den as well. But it is the only place where the devil himself rests. And you walk out onto one of the long piers. You walk out to the end of it. You look out into the Iron Mist Sea. It's almost calming and soothing because with the rain, it's gently, the tide is rolling in and coming back. And you find a few moments of peace out here. What do you do standing at the end of this dock?
I kind of I kneel down on the dock and reach underneath and break off a piece of like just stuff that builds up underneath, and I just skip it across the sea. And I kind of do that for a couple times as I finish the bottle, and then I take the bottle and I do that across the ocean or the sea, and I kind of look up to the mist and up into the sky, and I just quietly say that to the great open mist that it'd be nice if you were here. Speaking of his mom. And he gets up and begins walking back and heads back to the inn.
Okay. As you look up into the night sky there, you will see that the binary moons of Arklanar, one of which is in a waxing gibbous phase, and the one to the bottom right of it is in an equally waxing crescent phase, where there is a bit of shadow between them that almost as if a black knife has cut out sections of these moons. And as the moon phases go, the crescent, as we know from the calendar, the crescent counterclockwise moves around the central moon, and the moon, the central moon itself brightens and dims from full to new, as well as the crescent does. As you turn around, there's a familiar face on the edge of the darkness there. It's a human. Stands there with a hood. And you know him. And he just says, "How you living, young man?"
Thought to sneak up on me as I was drinking.
Oh, it's not hard to sneak up on an ogre that's been drinking a while. Horatio steps forward and kind of claps you on the elbow, because that's, I mean, how tall he is and how tall you are. That's the closest thing he can get to your shoulder.
Right.
How you doing? How is this next caper?
It was interesting.
Oh,
I guess we're
well,
not supposed to speak of dark things.
we're generally not. People like us aren't supposed to ask questions either.
Well, it
And
wasn't
raises an
necessarily.
eyebrow from under his hood. You didn't, did you?
Didn't.
Ask too many questions.
No, we just killed him.
Good.
It was what happened afterward that was dark and foreboding.
Oh, you know I'm not going to pry into your business. But if you want to talk, I'm here. And he kind of just elbows you in the hip, because that's what he can reach. And
What
he's
do you
he's
know of the
walking.
White Lord?
One of the White Lords. It's a foul undead thing of the noble dead caste. It's rumored that a necromancer at the end of his line becomes a White Lord to prolong his life so that he can continue his craft. Or a white, and he just kind of looks kind of around, and he shrugs. Everyone knows what a white is. A white gathers power enough to become a White Lord or a king himself. That's
And
what things are.
you see Kirkfall kind of shrug, like, I thought he said white.
White,
Yeah,
like the things that haunt
like
graveyards.
snow. I thought he was. And
No, not the color.
okay. Well, when you don't deal with these things often, do you know how to kill one?
Oh, well, I don't. I do not know.
And I drop my hood back, and then the moon probably shines onto my darkness. And I just say that I might need your help.
Ask, and I will answer.
For a price, I'm sure.
Of course, you know our world.
Yeah. Well,
It's safe to say at this point he's actually walking with you.
yeah, and we're kind of probably slipping into that sort of tongue, like a thieves' cant, if you will. If we
Yeah,
walk by people,
he does not speak anything but a thieves' cant or a sign language of some kind. He's too old for that kind of slip up.
so we're probably having a conversation more. And I would imagine that at least it's more of a conversation that based on how we're talking, you imply things based on certain methods of speech. So,
Of course, it's all code.
right. So, um, as we're departing, I reach into my pouch and I say, "Here's that 2 gold that I owe you."
Oh, thank you kindly. What was the bet? I forgot. I have so many these days. You missed a hell of a duel last chain.
Really?
Yes. Oh, some petty noble slept with some other petty noble's sister, and she was supposed to be a virgin, and she was betrothed to him or somebody else. It does not matter. He had an axe buried in his collarbone. It spread all over the place. It was brutal, and it was a work of art.
That's probably nice office. Did you make money off of it?
Oh, small bag of platinum. You know me.
Nice. Well, ear to the ground. I'm not out of the loop. Do you have anything?
Yeah. The spider has and Kirkfall will know that the spider is actually the boss of Felport, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
The spider has he's working with something. He's not letting anyone else know. He's got something. He's changed in the time since you've left. He's clever devil. But I'll let you know what I know when I know.
I would expect nothing less.
At this point, Horatio will actually walk you to the edge of the city, to the gate that actually goes into the Long Shadow Alley, and he stops and he says, I suppose I'll see you. I'll send for you. How about that?
You know where to find me.
Of course. He puts his hands up, almost like if you were aiming at him. He puts his hands up like, I'm not going to intrude on your job. That is the honor between us. But I'll send somebody for you. There's always criminals in Felport that need their hands removed, so.
Or their balls.
That too. Safe travels, my friend. He gives you a low bow and kind of jogs off into an alleyway nearby, and he disappears. Horatio the Ghost.
Yeah. And so I turn and he probably would have noticed it, but just out of curiosity, awareness roll.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, wow. So it explodes. 17. 24.
Okay. Well, noticed what?
If people were watching us or...
Oh, you guys were not followed. It's no one. The city's too big, and there's so many thieves. No one gives a shit about you guys.
Was that high enough to see how he melted into the shadows?
He got out of eye shot, and he vanished.
Okay.
He played on your line of sight and the line of sight of the gate guards, and he was gone.
Cool. All right. So I make my way back, and I would, since all I have with me is some moss, I lay that at the feet of the statue at the end, and go in.
All right. It's been about a couple or 3 hours, 3.5 hours here.
I'll climb into bed.
Okay.
Unless something was gonna accost me in the end.
Oh, no.
Okay.
None of that. The Seder bartender did kind of tell everyone off, so they're not going to bother you anymore.
Nice.
So the night actually passes with relative ease. You both are able to sleep very soundly, but for Orin at least, being nocturnal, he falls asleep due to, I suppose, traveling and just being muscle tired, not naturally tired. But the cockerel crows the next morning, and what do you guys do?
I'll sleep through it. We're nocturnal.
Fair enough.
So
Let the humans get up with the cockerel.
Oh yeah, I'll let those guys do that. So yeah, I would probably get up most likely just before sundown, and get up and do a prayer at sundown. I'm basically one of the things I'm looking at doing for my character is since he feels this, well, I feel this darkness on my soul. I'm going to be seeking guidance in the Silent Monolith or whatever communications I have with the server to the Silent Monolith to, I guess, seek guidance on purging it, to bring
Okay.
myself back to the light I know exists out there, though I seem to be so far from it.
Okay. The best way for you to answer that, you would not be able to get that question answered from the corner shrine. You do know that in your heart, but the closest cathedral with high priests of your order would actually be at the Temple of the Many Gods in Felport proper. But as you are not a citizen of Felport, you are not able to enter the city and visit this temple.
Can I send a message?
You absolutely could.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to get some parchment and a pen. I want to pen a letter to the priests at the temple and tell them my plight, that of how I feel that I've been touched with a shadow, and ask them if they could send me someone who I could speak with, and that I also have a artifact that they need to have. That it is possibly a very dangerous thing, and I feel just having it on me is causing me a drain to my soul.
All right.
Now, I won't describe it or anything like that, and I'll send that via messenger to the temple. So
okay. You do pen this in the trade language, I'm assuming?
actually, it would be yes.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever would be the official language I would be sending to them. But the official language of the church, whatever that happens to be.
Okay, perfect. That would be Ebonese, actually. For your knowledge. As we come to know the in Arklanar as a whole, the only place that actually has a postmaster or a postal service is actually Felport here, but it is highly militarized and is run by the Ebon Guard.
Okay.
You actually have military couriers that are messengers that are essentially armed and armored mailmen.
Okay, that works.
There is one that comes every single day to each of the villages, and he carries the letters within the walls. You do meet with him.
Okay.
His name is Crassus. You've actually known him for a short while.
Okay.
He does promise that he will actually place your letter in the hands of one of the high priests directly.
Okay.
But do you tell him anything about the letter, of its urgency or what it entails?
I just tell him that it is a very personal letter from me to the priest, and that if I need to give him a little extra to see if he can get a reply from them and bring it back, I would very much appreciate that.
He would. He wouldn't tell you the amount, but he'd kind of give you the. I need a little bit of something if I'm gonna.
Okay, I will dig into my meager little purse and pull out a couple of silver, which is a lot for me. I'm just a poor priest.
So, that's all right. He takes 2 silver from you.
Okay. And
he goes.
Then, right after that, once he's off, I'm going to find a nice, quiet little spot. And have I met one of the priests at the main temple yet?
Yes, you have met Renadil. He is the older of the two.
Okay,
he kind of runs it.
I am going to do something magical, which I haven't done yet. I am going to use one of my 0 level spells that I have.
Okay.
Whisper on the Wind.
Perfect.
I am going to say, message heading your way. just so
Okay.
he'll know that something's coming.
The priest that you actually know, he works at the shrine. He
That's
doesn't
right.
work at he doesn't work at the temple within the city.
That's right. I haven't met anybody at the temple yet. I don't really know anybody. Yeah, okay. In that case, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've been unable to contact him. Okay, I'll wait, and hopefully they'll send me a message as soon as they can. I'm going to basically go over to the shrine. I want to be talking to them about the master of the shrine. What should I do in this situation? Sort of let them know that I've sent the letter and sort of seek guidance.
Do you tell them what the letter entails?
Them, yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, and that what I'm feeling, and I even go to so far as to show them the bundle.
Okay. You don't unwrap it at all. No. Okay.
I tell them I didn't feel comfortable unwrapping it here. I want someone someone who knows of these things to deal with it if possible, because I feel that it's very dangerous. Definitely
well,
not now.
Renadil actually does agree that this is a highly volatile and very dangerous item. But he does tell you that the priests of the temple within the city, they rarely come to the villages. We send things to them through the courier service. They don't come to us.
Yes. I don't think this would be something I would like to send via courier. I would be worried for the courier's well-being. This thing has placed a darkness upon me, and I am a priest of the Silent Monolith. My faith is strong. I'm afraid if it falls into the hands of a person with less faith, it may corrupt them very quickly.
Oh, Crassus is a kind man. He has a wife and 2 children. You would not wish darkness to find his heart.
No. Is there one among us that might be a person to go to?
Not among us. Such a thing of the darkness would might spiral our people closer to extinction.
It may, yes.
But you will need to bear this for a time longer. And I believe that you should place it in the hands of the high priests yourself.
How would I go about entering the city, though? I'm not a citizen.
You must perform a task for the city, and they would give you your citizenship. And what citizenship does is allows you free access within and without of the city. If you wish, I can send for the clerks of the city to visit with you.
Yes, please do this.
I will. They normally bring writs at the end of the month, but I have a friend within the ministry that can see that a writ is brought to you sooner.
Thank you very much. You're very kind. This burden does weigh on me. The sooner I can rid myself of it, the better.
I will say, though, in the time that Orin has had this, which is just over 2 chains now, he is slightly paler.
Oh yeah, probably not looking very good either.
No, he's
the darkness at the edge of the nails.
Yes,
teeth are take a bit. Yeah. So,
how many shadow points does he have?
Now 4 because of the ones you got.
Okay.
So,
bottom. I need you to make a spirit life force save for both chains that you've had there. So just for the first one.
Okay. 7. That's going to be an 8 for the first one.
Oh, okay. And for the next?
That one's good. 7 is 15. That's a 20.
Okay. You actually gain 4 additional shadow points from the time that actually came into your possession, and today.
Okay. Just to make sure, how many shadow points can I do before I start getting bad?
For every 10 points, you gain 1 grade of shadow, and the max is 5.
Okay.
What that will do once you get to your first grade, then you will actually start to take penalties.
Okay. So yes, I need to get out this thing, rid of this thing as soon as possible.
For example, you gain a +2 bonus to persuasion intimidation rolls, and you get a +2 to apothecary when it comes to poison craft or using apothecary to harm.
Okay.
You would get a -2 to diplomacy tests, -2 to your allure, and -2 to healing apothecary tests.
Okay, yeah, that would hurt, especially for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll be spending time in the shrine doing my best to pray away the darkness. I guess you could say. So
Crassus comes back to you about 8 hours later.
Okay.
And he says, I apologize, Orin. I cannot summon a priest here to meet with you. They're busy with someone, from what I understand, someone broke into the cathedral sometime when you were absent, and they stole. And he rolls his eyes because he's clearly not of your faith, so he doesn't really understand. He rolls his eyes and says, they stole an urn of dirt from the garden, from the sacred tree, which to you is like stealing the sacred linga stones from the Temple of Doom.
Yeah. That's horrible.
He says, it was explained to me that this is sacred earth. I do not know. I am not religious.
I appreciate you for bringing the reply to me. I'll have an additional silver. It's one of my last ones. And
thank you. I've already taken your money initially, and I understand priests are a poor sort. Keep your money.
Well, thank you. If you happen to hear any more news about this earth being taken, please let me know. I'll be interested to hear it.
My job takes me to the cathedral at least 4 times a day, so I have a friend of your faith that who's actually he's actually a Green Knight, but he works for the temple proper, not the guard.
Yes. Well, when you see your friend, tell him a fellow priest sends blessings with us, and I hope this earth is returned as soon as possible. Horrible things can be done with that.
From what I understand, they've hired dozens of bounty hunters to track down this thing, so measures are being made.
Good. That will be appropriate. So, well, I don't want to hold you.
It's about 9:30 in the evening here.
Okay. So still early in the evening. So I don't want to hold you long, Crassus. I know you go home in the evening. So
this is my last stop.
Have a nice evening, and I'll bless your garden when I get a chance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He offers you his wrist almost in the kind of the Roman fashion.
Okay. I do the appropriate.
He does take your forearm. He grips your forearm for a few moments. He's safe travels to you, my friend. And he jogs back off into the city.
Okay. So. All right.
What has Kirkfall been doing over the past, I suppose, 8 hours?
I had to go AFK, dog debacle.
Oh, no, I understand. I got your message.
Skittish. So as I was letting one dog out, the other one ran past the other one. They haven't gotten used to each other yet, so I had to bring the other one in. And then I had to call my sister-in-law to like, hey, the dog's scared of me. She won't come back in. Anyway, sorry. They came home.
It happens.
Yeah, dogs. So I came back home and then, or came back to the inn and went to sleep. And then I guess we woke up and went to speak to Crassus at the temple. Is that?
Crassus is a military courier for the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we went to speak to the priest at the temple then?
Yes.
At the shrine, yes.
Okay. The village elder, Luanel Tellerspell, actually meets with you sometime that evening as well.
Yes.
She meets with you in private, mind you.
Yes, she's the one who hired us, right?
Yes. You guys are given... Let me actually calculate your... Hang on. You guys are both given 105 silver for the job because Altix was slain in battle. You guys were offered 70 silver each, so that extra is yours. So if you split it between the two of you, it's 105.
Okay.
She also will give you 8 silver for each of the scalps that you're able to acquire.
Yeah, I'll split that with Warren.
Mm-hmm. So 4 and 4.
44 each.
There you go.
Okay.
And I will say, because this was a goodly act, you guys will actually gain 2 light points back for this sort of thing. However, the way light and dark works, it's easier to gain shadow points than it is light. So you would actually subtract 1 of your shadow points.
Okay.
It's 2 to 1, light and dark.
Gotcha. Okay. Still, I feel slightly better. Oh, slightly.
Enough to stave off the darkness for a few moments before it creeps in again.
Yeah. Oh, and just so you know, my character is trying to look a bit more sickly than before. He's actually continued to deteriorate through the travels. So
okay.
I didn't know if he would have noticed that.
The village elder, she would have. She absolutely would
have.
Oh
yeah. Well, yes, yeah. I'm not. So I explained to her what's been going on. The fact that there was this fellow Ivazad who was apparently preying upon the Fae out in the logging camps and collecting vials of blood, which I will then turn over to her, the vials of blood, to properly.
She looks visibly shocked and tearful at this.
Yes, and we were able to bring back 3 of the of my brothers who were there who had gotten very ill from being there.
And she would have seen these when she came into the shrine.
and then explained to her about the fact that the other ones that went further north, they had moved camp just to be on the safe side because there is a possibility that there is a White Lord who's behind all of this.
At this point, her ears perk up and she kind of looks at you wide-eyed. There hasn't been a White Lord in these lands for several hundred cycles.
Well, there is one now. And I did not get his name, but he wears he has gilded horns in a circle upon his head.
She kind of looks at you questioningly and she says, "Gilded horns?"
Yes. Or golden horns, one of the two.
Did he give us his name?
He did not.
Oh, okay.
So we did see him within a mirror. We did, of course, destroy the mirror.
That was going to be the question that she asked. Did you destroy the mirror?
I do have a thing that is troubling that I am attempting to take to the temple of the in the main city to be disposed of, in hopes that it will not corrupt others. But it was a thing that he apparently had acquired and had darkened his soul to the point where he would do this, I assume. So, I would show you, but I fear corrupting you.
And she backs away from it almost as if I will not touch it. I will not lay eyes upon it.
It's got soft, delicate hands.
Oh. One soft, delicate hand, at least.
Right.
Yes, I have sent word to the priests, and I am attempting to gain entrance to the the priest of the shrine is attempting to garner me a task so that I may earn citizenship and earn passage in, so that I may dispose of this thing.
Okay. She looks at you a little bit more intensely. She said, you describe the being as it having gilded horns.
It seemed to have a crown, but the crown itself was growing out of its head, out of its skull, and they were gold. Not horns, not horns as we have, but as I said, it seemed to be a ring of horns.
She brings you over to a tapestry, excuse me, a chest nearby, and she opens this big dusty old chest, and she goes, "Describe for me again what this looked like," and she's kind of rifling through what looks like a bunch of sheets, a bunch of tapestries, a bunch of blankets.
I'll go through it once again and mention that it seemed to be possibly human when it was alive, definitely skeletal, and the very distinctive crest of.
What if it's skin?
Skin, I don't recall. I remember its eyes were intensely blue.
And she brings out an old tapestry, an old moth-eaten tapestry, and I'm going to screen share something here with you quick. Mind you, the image that I have is actually a female, but it's going to be pretty easy to put it into a male body here. All right. It's actually going to be here. Do you see that?
Yes.
And she brings out a tapestry of a group of these individuals that have gilded horns like this and thick hair around it.
Okay.
And they do have a somewhat Grecian bearing to them.
Okay. Yes, the horns definitely were like that.
She goes, "These are the ancients. They're and being a member of the cloth, you would have actually heard of a race of individuals who are actually extinct now, known as simply as the ancients. They are what mortal men descend from. Many of the Hyperborean houses far to the north on the tundra say they have direct bloodlines with these things, but none of them actually have gilded horns like this. And she just looks at you and says, if there was a White Lord
Yes.
of these people, he is impossibly old.
He was,
Tens of thousands. He is nearly as old as the Umbriad themselves.
and then he is that old because that is what he appeared to be.
The ancients lived in the Ebon Vale at the time. This is before the founding of Felport, and she references an event in ancient history known as the Rape of the Ancients. And anyone who knows of the line of humans is the Umbriads came out of their fell holds beneath the mountains and their ebon mines, and they enslaved the entire race as pleasure slaves. Men, women, children, it does not matter. The Umbriad took these people, and that is where the Ebonese come from. That's why the Ebonese have fair skin and raven dark hair. And that's why they live mortal lives.
We could be misconstruing the crown, right, Orin? I mean, maybe we saw it differently.
I don't believe so. I'm fairly certain that was what we
Really
saw.
helping my fears.
Head. I don't believe it was worn. It did seem to be part of the skull. Yes. Of course, you spoke with him more than I did. What do you think?
She just kind of looks up. You spoke with it?
Oops, sorry.
Well, I had a good conversation with him. He seemed
what? What did you say? What does it know?
Well, he was Evazad or Debazine or Evazad. Got it right the first time. Ogre's memory. Sorry. He was saying that Evazad was asking. He was asking if he was complete with the ritual as of yet, or something to that effect. And I said that there'd been a setback, and I was asking for well, I asked him for money, and let's be honest, and I said we just need an advancement, and we can, before we can do anything more, and he didn't seem to believe me, so yeah, and then he said that he'd be seeing us soon.
She gets about as white as a dusk fair folk can get at that last comment.
Well, you're more familiar with these ways anyway. Can't you just pray it away?
I've been trying.
I thought
she just she looks at the floor and says, well, I don't know how to combat this myself. My people don't need another tragedy.
No.
This would undo us.
That's why I believe, just from my instinct, that whatever this thing is I have wrapped up is what connected Ifazad with that thing. Thus, I'm trying to get it away from us as far as possible.
She just very seriously says, our people do not have a king or queen, but I see over our people here. You must send yourself into exile with that thing until this passes.
I understand. I will do so.
Come again?
She says, she's more pointedly towards Orin, you must send yourself into exile until this thing is lifted, or that thing.
You should. You need to
if
pray
it's-
about this and get your God to do something about this thing.
I stand, bow to her, look to Kirkfall, and say, my God is doing something about this through his agent, myself. And
You've got a hefty task ahead of you, sir.
I do. I could definitely use a companion. Someone watch my back, if you will.
Well, we did just make a lot of money. You could probably hire somebody.
True. I could.
You're an asshole.
Dave is the one that's laughing. Kirkfall is just kind of nervously not non-committal at this point. Then he looks back. Didn't you send us to this on this endeavor? He's looking at the priestess. This was your doing.
I told you to escort our artisans to their base camp. I did not tell you to bring an undead abomination upon us.
Well, what would you do?
Well,
Probably the same thing we did, right? That's what I was thinking. So,
I would not have
with all
touched
due
the mirror.
respect, you're very pretty, and I'm sure you're very smart, and you do have gold. So,
She's not laughing. I excuse me.
I know. And the humor on my side, it's the uncomfortableness of Kirkfall. He's just trying to, he's been pitted in this supernatural struggle and he's just like trying to deal with it. And he's like, but you sent us there. What did you expect us to do? Just stand by and watch the evil?
Yeah, this is not a punishment for me. This is a duty I must perform. So I'll be.
This thing has seen you. I would not think that it has connected you to us. And if it hasn't, you both must leave the Long Shadow Alley.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better to have you fight it with us?
No, my people cannot fight a war, especially against the dead.
Yeah, our people have suffered.
You're not helping. I mean, so what's the next step then?
You both leave.
Well, that doesn't help anyone. So
You're
what's the
a
next-
sellsword, are you not? You certainly can find other work and do not darken our doorstep again. Until this plague is lifted. I'm not saying forever banished. Just see this thing gone.
Well, we're all talking
I-
about banishment, and I have seen no scrolls or royal edicts. So
It's
we need traveling provisions and so on, and writs of mark if we're going to be abroad, right, Orin?
well, some food would be nice.
You
I
have
could-
plenty of money now.
I do, but I'll need that for travel expenses and such. So I do understand, though, Miley. I don't want to lay any more burden upon our people than I have to. So I'll take my poor self off into the wilderness and I'll live upon my wits. And I'm trying to persuade her right now, make her feel bad.
Make her feel bad.
That's a 17.
I'm gonna do the same because it's like
I'm gonna sort of slowly walk toward the door.
So we got an 18, but and I'm looking at her just like, you just want to banish us to the outer darkness.
Cough a little bit.
He's sick. Look at him. I'm sick.
Find refuge in the city. Just simply do that.
Obviously, I mean, I guess we need to find work in the city, Oren.
I have someone actually sending that to us. Or
maybe you could treat the ladies of the line and offer, some poultices to their vaginal cavities to avoid bad stuff.
They start to actually blush at that.
And thus,
there's work. It's steady work.
It is.
Not to mention, if you're uncomfortable around the female body, there's many sailors that need the same.
Oh, I'm certain. I've been given.
You've had it before too.
No, I've been given instruction on.
Say no more.
Form. But,
God, it burns.
That's all right. Officially, Kirkfall has syphilis.
And I have an herb for that. Yeah. Yes, I actually am. A friend of mine is contacting a clerk in the city to actually acquire a task for us as we speak.
Good.
To gain entrance into the city.
Well, let me see what I can do too.
Might I have refuge at the edge of the alley, just for one night until I'm able to acquire this passage into the city, my lady?
Well, I suppose you can stay at the inn until then.
I appreciate that. So, oh, by the way, he was apparently trying to animate our statue.
That is horrible.
Yes, it was. I destroyed the link to the ritual he was doing.
Thank you. You do a great service to our people.
I try.
Yes, Oren was without measure. He was quite he's a credit to your cause. Should not be banished. As he's shaking his head and walking to the door, his shoulders slumped. And my mind is already working. He's obviously not a citizen because he's not. And my mind is working about greasing certain palms or trying to get him an expedited avenue into the city.
Well, you could probably imagine there are smugglers that are good at exactly that thing, but people who are not citizens of the city are found out very shortly after they are able to infiltrate the city in some form or fashion. And those people are spiked to the city gates.
Wow.
Yeah.
The overseer does not tolerate traitors.
Could we get him a green card?
No,
there's no such thing.
So he's an illegal alien for the meantime. All right.
No,
I'm working on it.
he can live in the villages, but he cannot enter the city.
So, okay.
Well, at least I'm able to do that, and I can help in the meantime if we need to do that. But we've gotten no help here, and still making my slow way out of the shrine.
Yeah.
So you guys leave.
Yes.
There's in the, I suppose, the light of the setting sun there.
Mhm.
From the shrine, you actually can turn around just a little bit and actually see the city gate.
Okay.
Coming through the gate at this time are two individuals that have a retinue of guards around them. One of which is astride a beautiful black steed, a black horse, and another is wearing the red and gray robes of a priest. The one in the saddle, you can tell he clearly must be a captain or a lord of the city in some way, shape, or form. But they both have about 16 guards total between the two of them. And they come into the Long Shadow Square there before the fountain. And a town crier kind of stands up on the fountain there and says, "We summon to the square Orin." Kind of shouts it at the town, the village.
I'll look around and step forward. I am Orin.
Oh, excellent. Come forward then. He hops down, or if he's folding up his piece of paper, hops down.
I'll walk over to him.
As soon as you get within about speaking range of these two important individuals, and there's actually the one in the saddle is a male fair folk of your kind,
Okay.
clad in a rim steel breastplate, ebon with a kind of an iridescent blue shimmer to it, and he has an ebon broadsword on his hip. Clearly, this person is a lord of some kind. He wears the cloak of a captain of the Ebon Guard, which is a red, black, and gold tabard cape, if you will. And the other, the one in the red and gray robes, is an Umbriad, who is about as white as snow. His hair is darker still than a raven's feathers. And the Umbriad eyes, and I don't think Orin has ever actually looked upon an Umbriad before.
I'm not.
But the Umbriad, their eyes are unique among the Fae. They have no iris, and they have the white of their eye is black.
Oh.
Their iris is also black, and their pupil is white. So you have a pair of white pinpricks looking back at you.
Okay, that's a bit unsettling.
And, yes, the Umbriad are frightfully beautiful and commonly thought to be the spookiest of the Fae that you could ever come across. He wears the symbol of Aranthar, the god of hate and passion, and he has an aura around him, which is kind of like a red haze, almost like smoke. And it's visibly, there's a heat shimmer around him, not to the point where the rain that touches him like sizzles off. No, but it's visibly warmer standing near him.
Okay.
And he has this kind of almost like a Sith Lord kind of bearing when he looks at you. It's really intimidating, really oppressive as he looks on and he says, almost in this sinister, almost syrupy, charming kind of tone, "We are told that you wish to acquire citizenship of our fair city.
I do.
This is true.
Yes.
I am High Priest Atero of the Cathedral of Five Gods within the city.
Okay.
My lord is the deity of hate, Aranthar. I have a task for you." And he pulls out a scroll from under one of his voluminous sleeves, and he hands it to you.
Okay. I'll take it. Look at it.
And the captain in the saddle here, you actually notice that this horse is rather unique. This horse's hooves are flaming. Its eyes are like fire as well. And every so often, when it breathes, 2 puffs of fire come out of its nostrils. And it paws at the earth, kind of searing the mud around it. And the captain kind of urges its steed forward for a few feet. And he says, "My name is Lord Horwind. I'm also Lord of Felport and of the city guard that sees over the noble quarter. The Ebon Guard also has a task for you." And he hands you down a scroll.
Okay. I'll take this one as well. I'll bow to him and look at that one. So
the task that the High Priest gave you is a simple task. You must deliver a message to Lord Fardred of Farabar Keep to the south of Felport. Okay. Simply deliver the letter to him. Atero hands across the letter.
Okay.
He says, "On pain of death, you must swear to hand this to the Lord himself." And he sets those eyes on you, and he is not fucking with you.
Okay. Then I swear it. It shall be delivered to his hand only.
Excellent. Lord Horwind, the task that he sent you, or he gives you, excuse me, is a task. There is a forest giant that has been raiding the outer villages, eating the villagers, and carrying off supplies to only the gods know where.
Okay.
Your task is to slay this beast and bring back proof of the beast's death.
Okay. That may be beyond me, but I will certainly attempt it. Although I shall beg to deliver the message first, since I have sworn an oath to deliver it and hand it over to the Lord himself. And if I am dead from being gianted, I will not be able to do so.
The High Priest kind of shoots a smug look up at the captain. Clearly, you can see in this look that there's competition between the many factions within the city, and you see in that look he's essentially telling Lord Horwind to eat shit and die.
Well, being a priest myself, I would tend to side with him anyway. But I do look at the captain and say, would that be acceptable?
He just nods slowly. He looks down. He kind of looks you up and down, and you are a peasant priest.
Yes, I am not of noble birth.
I see. As you are of my blood as well, I am obligated to grant you leniency. Yes, you may perform the task for the church first.
I thank you for your generosity. So, I look over toward Kirkfall and I say, would performing these two tasks with the aid of a friend also gain him citizenship if he were to require it?
There is 2 writs there. The custom is 1 writ per citizen. So, if he does not have citizenship already, then he may take one. This is the high priest speaking.
Okay. Well,
I'm not in need of that, but
Does Kirkfall actually step forward here?
yeah, and step forward, and 'cause I had rolled a 17 for stealth to try to smell.
Oh yeah, you would have disappeared.
But I was
Despite
kind of just
being twice everyone's
probably
size.
knelt down behind people and just sort of was sitting there picking at the rocks on the ground, just listening to this whole thing. And then I saw Oren looking around and I was like, shit. So then I emerged from the crowd, and I am not in need of citizenship, but I'd be happy to help the city in this endeavor, and this priest, obviously at no cost to the city, of course.
The high priest just simply smirks, this evil as shit smirk. He says, of course.
I'll look over and I say, but of course it would be upon the honor of the church if you were to assist a priest to compensate you in some way.
The gods would.
Is it not? I look over at the.
Preferably upon such a thing.
I will do my best to find some way to compensate you then, my good friend. So.
I clap you on the back, basically almost knocking you over.
Yeah.
A giant, you say?
A forest giant. I'd say forest giants are probably twice your height. Forest giants are normally shy things that work the woodlands and have the temperament of a very, very large grizzly bear. They can be scared off, but something is wrong with this one. He is sick with something, and he preys upon the villages.
Full of hate, you might say.
That may be. He kind of shoots another eat shit and die look down at the high priest.
Maybe sickened by the shadow itself. We've encountered other things of this sort, it seems. Beings doing things they would not normally do, and if left to their own devices, seemingly warped.
The darkness does have a pull on one's heart and light.
Well, I look around to the different people around us and say, I'm sure we've drawn a crowd. And I say,
oh no, they have scattered like rats from a sinking ship. They got the hell out of there quick.
Nearby, good. And I say, well, my lord, your grace, there is something that I think that both of you should know that may bear upon the city's well-being.
Oh,
I looked over at Kirkfall and I sort of nod. I said, "A White Lord is about."
the two lords kind of look at each other.
He's been drinking. Forgive him.
They,
He's sometimes he gets well into his cups. You know,
Been drinking at all.
some priests, not all, obviously.
Just spring water today.
hmm,
I would just say, while we are performing these tasks, please alert those who you feel maybe needed to be alerted. Hopefully, I will. If I run across any more information about this being, I'll bring it back with me, and then of course bring it to the temple as soon as I gain citizenship.
consult the necessary scribes. Thank you for reporting this.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
They
Did you want to share your? I'm just leaning over quietly. Did you want to share your recent bowel movements too? Since you're being honest about everything.
Well, they could have raised the dead, but I don't believe that happened in this case. So
no.
no, but yes, I will take care of these tasks. So, with your leave, I'll begin soon.
Take what time you need
Thank you.
and then set out.
So, citizenship is warranted after this task? Looking up at them.
We will consider it.
That's very thoughtful of you. Thank you.
Yes.
At that point, both of their retinues form up and then march off into the city. You can tell that a brief conversation, as soon as you guys are out of earshot, is had between the two lords, because one of them looks at the other and you can tell someone says something, but you can't hear.
I look over at Kirkfall as they're walking off and say, "They did need to know, you know." So,
You did what?
they did need to know. If this thing is,
You're probably right. It's just, yeah.
and
It's like-
there's a chance this giant might be under the influence the way that our necromantic friend and his bully sloth were. They were not acting normally either. But I'll head back over toward the inn with that, gather my gear, purchase a few days worth of food for the road, probably some bread, some fruit, and a few pieces of a slab of bacon possibly, and
Okay.
I'll
How much is a leather hauberk?
A leather hauberk.
And would that cause me to lose stealth?
Anything
you added that
heavier
there.
than furs.
I thought you said
Anything-
you added leather hauberk to it.
I did actually. The leather hauberk, yes, and actually, it's, -2 to your stealth rolls.
Wow.
yeah.
Anything heavier than fur, and then you start to accrue penalties.
Well, that's not right. Not friendly. Okay.
You gotta work it in a bit to make it not creak every time you move.
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe a helmet.
True.
Really? You want to buy a helmet? You probably could, but
It's
it'd take
plus
you a
one to
while.
my
Yeah.
damage suppression.
Yeah, it absolutely it would take some time for fair folk to craft ogre armor though.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll think about it then. Have we recouped our vitality?
By now you have, yes.
Okay.
Um, I'm going to look into something
All right.
concerning the herbs and such that I acquired earlier. Do I have anything that might be? I'm thinking like a mild poison that can be applied to arrows. Not doesn't kill something, but something that possibly cause something to be weakened or even fall asleep if administered properly.
Make a wild lore test for me.
Well, or
Well, we do have some moon glove.
Oh, that'll kill you in like 5 minutes.
Yep.
that's going to be a 21.
Yeah. You could pick something up like that.
Okay, I'll then that's what I'll be doing then is give myself some more arrows to replenish my supply and getting some of that to make some of that stuff as well. And you said
Okay.
moon glove? Would that have been something I might have heard of?
A moon glove is in this side of our room is the most deadly flower of the wilderness.
Okay.
Exponentially more potent than nightshade,
Oh,
and it's not something that you handle without gloves or handle as an amateur.
then that would definitely be something that we'll be very careful about. My friend Kirkfall, if you happen to have some of that, be very careful with that. It can be deadly.
That's
I
good
haven't seen
advice.
I haven't seen you do anything with poisons or anything yet, so I don't know if you actually know anything yet or
That's
not.
true. We could use some poisons though.
Mhm.
Um,
Well,
Do
there
you,
are things that I can use to.
I mean,
Well,
if
we.
you're not, if you don't have an aversion to it,
Oh,
and I kind of look at him scanning reading his features.
I don't like to kill needlessly, but it is from as long as they are from a natural source. You know what the monolith gives, we may use.
Yes. Well, wouldn't I know of like in the market? Would I know of a various booths that might sell? You have to grab this and that, and you mix it together, sort of thing.
not here.
In the city proper.
Yeah, there's people for that, And touch your
Mm.
nose, you know a guy.
Yeah, and that's what I do is yeah, you're gonna have to give me some time. If maybe a couple hours, I can gather what we need.
Do you guys want to take a 5 minute break here?
Sure.
All right. We'll take a 5 minute break. Hang on here. Thanks for being patient, everybody. We'll be right back here. I think you guys are doing rather well tonight here.
Doing our best.
Right? Right?
We're still alive, aren't we?
Right? God, shit, I hope so.
Yes.
I didn't kill you off yet. Wait, what? I didn't kill you off.
So,
That kind of sucks that Aiden died in the
yeah.
Renderslav fight. He would have been a really, really good ally and a good pair of eyes in the north there.
Yeah, we'll just have to be a bit sneaky about it.
Mm.
There's more ways to bring down a giant than charging straight forward and hitting it with a sword.
Oh, of course. I am very intrigued as to see how you bring down a giant.
With our wits. So my wits aren't very high though. So,
Right?
so
However, you do have cunning in spades, though.
yes, I guess I do. So, and I'm already thinking about how I could possibly distract a giant long enough to get a couple of arrows with some possible moon glove lacing in the heads of them.
All right, yeah.
Should be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Dave, what are you drinking in that stein?
Liquid.
Liquid? Oh, I see.
It's vodka. It's not straight vodka, but
Oh,
that'd be
well.
insane. It's like drinking rubbing alcohol.
Oh, shit.
That is
Nobody
basic.
alcohol. Yeah, right? I thought there was Russians who did that like every Thursday, drinking rubbing alcohol,
Yeah,
hydrogen peroxide,
I have,
embalming fluid.
as far as I know, I have Scottish origins, but some Scottish, but I'm not a whiskey man, so.
No? All right.
I'm a
I've
rum
had
guy.
What'd you say?
You're
Keith?
I'm a rum guy myself. So.
Oh, I like
yeah.
rum, but my belly's big enough, and there's more calories in rum, albeit a little bit more. But
It's true.
Come
anything
on,
you
you
can
can
shave
use
off.
another loaf of bread.
Another sandwich.
Fuck off, Game Master. Are we ready to continue, gentlemen?
Yep.
I am, yes.
All right. Do you actually set out that evening, or?
I'd give it at least one more night to gather supplies.
Okay.
And then I also want to find out, get an idea of, is there can you purchase a map?
You can purchase a map, yeah.
I'd like a map that has this this place we're going to. This
It's at the Felport tourist office there.
yes,
Yes, a fucking tourist office. Yes, of course.
They make money off of it.
They go to the Welcome Center. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God! Right? Yeah, because they had welcome centers in the fucking Bronze Age.
Of course they do.
Oh,
You know,
for
they have
God's sake.
like giant statues above them, and but they have
Uh,
one in roads, right? That's pretty nice.
How far of a travel is it for us?
Faribar Keep is 23 miles south.
So we can do it in like a couple hours.
A couple days.
That's 2 days max.
Yeah. So
On horseback?
yeah.
Walking.
Oh.
On horseback, we could probably push the horses, do it in a day. So
That would be a singular horse, because
Yeah.
there is no breed of horse that can carry an ogre.
true.
Wagon.
Wagon, really?
We're
That
gonna be-
poor animal.
I'm going to come back on the shoulders of this giant as my mount.
we could actually walk faster than what you could move. Actually,
God.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much would it cost me to get a like a basic riding horse?
A basic riding horse
Yes.
of
think it's
the breeds that they breed here, the warm-blooded steeds.
Yes. Ones that won't eat me when they get up out beyond the walls.
No, you cannot purchase carnivorous horses at this time.
Darn it. Okay.
No, I'm not selling you Thracian horses, which would be so goddamn badass. That would be 100 silver, actually.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to save my silver and walk.
What, a
So
war horse is 170.
hardworking and submissive male slave is 15 silver. He can cook, and he can clean, and he can carry our baggage. Right?
Yes. Yes, he can.
Right? And he needs does he have to have a slave collar?
Yes. Legally, he has to have a slave collar.
Or at least leather bindings?
That would well, that's
Does he
essentially
come with a slaver's collar?
that all depends. Some of those rat bastard slavers that might charge you extra for that shit.
Oh, I'm sure they would.
Yeah, I want a hardworking and submissive slave.
Okay.
With a collar, so that's 16 silver pieces.
Okay.
I'm a citizen.
Yes, so you
Don't
can
fucking
actually
overcharge me.
Oh, I love that I have slavery in my system.
You're a terrible person.
Oh, I don't give a shit. So
We'll call them henchmen for today.
Right.
oh yes, this is eventually going to go on YouTube. Excuse me, they're called thralls.
Mm-hmm.
Because Conan
Slave.
Exiles could not have slaves. They're fucking
True.
thralls, ladies and gentlemen.
Thralls.
Yes, let's
So-
use a synonym for slave. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, henchman also works.
No, yeah, henchman, I suppose. It's about 9:30, 9:40, almost 10 o'clock in the evening. The slave market would actually be closed at this time.
Okay. We'll have to wait for tomorrow then. So,
Oh, okay. I thought we were waiting a day anyway.
Well, yeah, of course. Okay, so do you guys actually turn in early, or do you have some stuff that you actually want to do before we fast forward 24 hours
well,
or 18?
I'm going to basically find a place where I can start mixing together some of these herbs that I have into the what I can put together to possibly deal with a giant, be it a something that's going to put him to sleep, or something that's going to at least weaken his ability to resist, or make him less strong. Basically, either way, make him feel sickly. So
Gotcha. I'm actually not. I'm not familiar with my. Or excuse me. I am not as up to snuff with my herbology as I originally was when I was building the system. So, unnamed herbs you purchase for 11 silver in the marketplace.
okay. That'll work.
which
Can
I
I
will actually
trade?
research
Can
for
I
you.
trade?
Wing it.
I have all these herbs I got from the place out there where we did our work. Could I possibly make a trade?
You'd have to give away 3 of your poultices for
Okay.
to make it an even trade.
Okay, that'll be fine. I can do that. I can make more poultices, so
Okay.
that's absolutely fine.
You also have grades in wild lore, so it's not like you can't forage on the road.
Right, definitely. So, okay, we'll definitely do that and mark it down. And then it'll probably take me a bit of time to do that, I would assume, right?
Yes, it will actually take you probably the next 18 hours to prepare those
Okay,
salves.
I'll be off doing that.
Gotcha. What is Kirkfall doing for the next 18?
What's that?
Yeah, you have silver. There's ale to drink, I'm sure.
There
Right?
is ale to drink, yes, but I do need a slave.
All right, two.
The slave market won't be open until morning.
Okay.
But I know a guy.
Well, well,
Do I?
Well, you know Horatio. That's the only guy you know.
I mean, of living in the city, is there a possibility?
No, you're a criminal assassin ogre. You don't have friends.
I mean, he couldn't even afford like a few rebellious savages.
I'm teasing, mind you. Yeah, you probably know some people, but anyone who would actually give you information would mostly be Horatio.
So I go find Horatio.
Yeah, you go find Horatio. All right. He's hanging out at the Devil's Rest. He's off duty currently.
Perfect. I go buy him a drink.
Oh. Well, good evening. What can I get? What can I do for you?
Yeah, I've got this forlorn priest. He's needing citizenship, and
There's plenty of that around. He takes your drink. He's a little drunk at this point. That's why he's kind of stammering.
what, citizenship or priesthood?
Yes.
I need a slave. I figure it'd be easier to just carry our shit.
Well, he looks at you up and down. You're probably going to need 2 of those.
You're funny. You're funny.
Hey,
They're not
You
going
need
to
a-
carry me.
no, all of your shit.
No, that I'm going to wear my shit. They're just going to carry cooking stuff. Come on, did you lose your mind?
No, I lost my money. I've been drinking since I saw you last.
What's wrong with you? Is it
I'm
pussy
having fun.
again?
No. Lorella is not speaking to me at this time, so I'm spending my time here.
Oh, it must have been the dog again, huh?
Oh, damn that dog. Well, if the thing would shut up, I wouldn't have to throw it into the harbor to the sharks.
So I need a slave, and I need it now.
You know how slaves work. Slavers do not do now. There's a lot of backstabbing. There's a lot of sweet talking, silver tongues, and inevitably you're
I
going to
can
have to sit
backstab someone,
Well,
and so can you.
yes, but not right now.
So I'll backstab, you sweet talk him. It doesn't have to be in that order.
Well, does it have to be tonight?
It has to be like now.
But Listen, pup. I've been drinking for the past 8 hours. If you want a slave, either you go speak to that piss-reeking Yethite in the corner. His name is Shemet. Talk to him. He'll probably sell you a piece of shit whore son thing from a far off land that'll work hard for you.
So
And
do
if
I
he
need to
gives you any
lead
trouble,
with? Do I need need to lead with a silver tongue, or just threaten to punch him in the mouth?
well, you see that fat, ugly piece of shit over there? Look at him. See him? See him? He's
I got you.
probably inbred.
How much was the drink?
That's 2 silver there.
All right. So I
Horatio kind of leans over to you, like he's like leaning on you at this point. He's so fucking shit faced. He leans on. His parents are probably fucking brother and sister, and fucking evil bastard. Look at him, ugly cunt. You tell him that I sent you, and if he gives you
raise the price,
and he better not.
So I just wave at the bartender and slide the silver across the counter with a silver tip. It's not much, but it's much. And point at, Horatio.
He just he nods, smiles, winks.
And I go over to Shemet,
who he's a heavier set Yethite from Tharana. He's got his hair in messy dreads, and like I said, he's a heavier set guy. He looks fucking uglier than shit. He's got a that fake Egyptian goatee that's not kept. He just looks like shit. He's got some poor young, probably a prostitute, that is not enjoying the fact that she's sitting on his knee. She kind of looks at you like, oh God, with this, God, please give me money so I can get off of his lap. And Shemet just looks over at you, looks you up and down. You broken ebonies. So, what are you looking for, big man?
I need a strong back. I need it now.
I have plenty of those.
That's what I hear. Horatio said so.
Oh. Horatio over there? He just kind of looks warily over there.
But I'm speaking right here. So,
do you have a preference in your slaves?
Cook, carry, doesn't shit himself when combat happens.
Well, I don't sell soldiers.
I didn't expect soldiers. I just didn't expect someone who just run needlessly.
I have a few that fit your description. 60 silver.
No, that's not going to work.
What? He would be a good slave. Would you like to look at my wares?
I think we'd like to talk about quarter of that, but I'd definitely like to see them now.
Fair enough. He kind of pushes this poor girl on the floor, and this poor thing just like kadunk on the hardwood floor, and she just kind of very hurt.
I'm going to actually catch her as she falls down and set her in the chair.
Make a reflex save.
Because I have that now.
You do? Yeah.
So it's 12.
12? Oh, shit. Yeah, you catch her before she smacks her knees and her forehead on the floor.
Yeah, I just set her on the chair next to him, and
a little terrified of you because, rumor has it that ogres eat people.
Yeah. the length of the forearm.
Oh yeah.
You were saying, Shemite, and I just slap him on the back a little too hard.
All right.
Intimidation.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Oh shit, he rolled for crap. All right.
17 total.
17. Yeah, he kind of looks at you rather warily, and it's right this way. Then we'll conclude business quickly.
Quickly, yes. Thank you.
He brings you over to the slave pens, in particular his slave pens. And he's got a few dozen individuals in this poor cage. And these people smell like shit. Even the fact that since they've been rained on pretty much since they got here, which you have no idea how long these people have been stewing in this cage. They're packed in here like sardines. And he starts yelling at them in Yethite. It's a language you don't understand, but some barbarian guttural tongue. He pulls an Ignead, a male fire fae, as you understand, to the front. He goes, "Here, strong back. Also fae blood, so they are quite nimble and are not quick to tire."
What languages do you speak?
And Shemet turns to this Ignean. He hauls off and he slaps him right in the fucking mouth.
Actually, I'm going to stop him before he does that. I'm just going to put my arm up or down, as it were.
Okay. Yep.
And stop him.
Okay. So he goes to haul off like
reflexes again, or
no. I'm not gonna make you roll for it. He hauls off like he's gonna smack him in the mouth, and you stop him.
And it's not like I'm attacking him. I'm just stopping him.
You're just like you're just put your hand out. What languages do you speak? What words do your tongues grasp? And this Ignia just kind of looks up at you, kind of with this sneer, like, I grasp your language. He speaks Ebonese. It's broken though, but he got a real thick accent. But he understands.
Okay. And this is what the best is that you're offering? Does he normally beat you like this?
He kind of shoots a real dirty look to Shemet, and Shemet's just like, he kind of almost growls at him, and Shemet has cruel and hard hands, and he's almost like he's gonna draw his tawar there off of his belt, but Shemet he thinks better of it because he might be making some money here.
Well, that's not what the ladies say, and I kind of wink over at Shemet, like trying to buy his. Not worth raising your hand, though.
Can you actually make me a persuasion haggle roll with that? Oh, all right.
So that is a total of a 12.
Okay. So at that comment about the ladies, Shemet he softens up and he kind of gives you this, of course look. But you mean he's uglier than Sin. He's fat, warty, unkept. Ugh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a a rare working slave here. He's hardworking.
But
He
he
is of the
barely
Fae.
speaks Ebonese.
He speaks it enough to understand and follow commands.
Yeah, but
60
you've beaten
silver.
him. Look at the bruises. And I start examining the body to show the bruises and the sores that are on the surface.
One must break their slaves.
Yeah. And you were supposed to be one of the better ones.
Well, do you want a slave or not?
I'm offering you 20 silver.
Oh no, that is too low.
Yeah, well, it's off hours. Obviously,
off
this is
hours.
just drinking money for you right now. And I'll even throw an extra 5 in for an extra 2 drinks.
Hmm.
We're good, right? I knew it. And I just
35.
No, 25 is my price. He's not. You've already broken him. You can see the sores. I've already told you that.
He will heal quickly, all Fae do.
Yeah, but at the market, I'm already offering over the normal. You know that.
All right, what'd you roll?
I got a total of let's see, 4, 9. I got a 15 total.
God damn it. All right, fine. 28.
25.
Ah.
You know, and I even caught that poor lady for you. She is going to look more kindly on you later. I'm sure she
25
sucks a
then.
mean cock. What are you waiting for? She's waiting for you.
25 then, fine.
25, and I start just pounding him out into his fat palm. And let's see, so I am at 122. Okay. And I grab him up like I'm trying to be rough, but I'm kind of deceptively doing it.
Mm-hmm. The
So,
slave?
Yeah, trying to make a show to fat ass here. And so it's a total of a 14. So I kind of give a show like I'm grabbing him by the scruff of the neck, so to speak. And
oh yeah, it's not hard to pick this guy up.
And I start dragging him out. Pleasure doing business with you. And I kind of act like I'm throwing the guy as I just kind of slide him in front of me because you can't, I have a wide berth. And leave him there with his 25 silver. He still has the collar on, right?
Yes, he still does have the collar.
Okay. And as we're walking, I say, move briskly. We don't have time. What do I call you?
Whatever you want to call me.
No, what do I call you?
You want the name that my mother gave me?
I want the name that you want to be called. Why are you making this difficult?
Fair enough. His name is Savile.
Savle?
Saevle.
All right. You know how to cook?
I can cook.
And I speak in Ogren. You have a strong back?
He just he cocks an eye. I don't speak that language.
Okay, I go to Ekrix and I say, you have a strong back?
I have a strong back.
And I go to Bearded Folk.
I do not grasp that tongue.
Yeah. Well, we're off to a better start than before. Well, let's move. You probably are hungry and in need of a bath. So we make our way to the inn, and I don't think the inn is going to turn me away with a slave.
Um, they're not gonna let him sleep indoors.
Hmm. But he can sleep in the stables.
Yeah,
All right. So I can pay for a bath at least.
yeah. Or he could probably bathe in the ocean.
Well, that's true. I could take him to the ocean and let him bathe. Okay, Sable.
And what do I call you?
Kirkfall.
Kirkfall. I see.
Ah, you're already picking it up. So good. We're off to a great start.
Well, all right. He just doesn't say anything. He's got nothing for that.
So I'm actually gonna I guess I can't buy him clothes during the night, and we're gonna buy provisions in the morning, though, right?
Correct.
So I could actually get him like a pair of sandals and a robe.
You could, yeah. He's not really wearing anything right now.
Not even a loincloth.
No, he's fucking naked.
All right, so I'm gonna get him a robe and a loincloth, or a robe and a pair of sandals, um, in the morning.
All right. How do you restrain him? Do you you like, I suppose, tie him to something uh in the stable, or how exactly are you going to handle that?
Do you think that I would have difficulty finding you if
He
you
just
left?
he just kind of looks at you with this matter of fact but blank look on his face. He looks you real slow up and down. I
I
would
don't look like.
hazard you'd have a very easy time finding me.
And
There
as
are
I do
not
that, I
many of
pull
my
out that
kind
dark
here.
dagger that I got, and I start pulling it across the whetstone, and I just say, "We have an accord, then. If you earn it off, we might have a different relationship. But right now, it is a matter of I have pulled you out of something worse. Agreed? I
I
will not
understand.
hit you. I will not beat you. Unless you attack me, then I will fucking kill you. If you run, I'll fucking kill you." That's how it's going to work. Is that
He nods
amenable to
very
you?
slowly.
I don't know when that time will come, but someday that collar might lift off your neck.
He just looks up into your eyes. What color are Kirkfall's eyes?
His eyes are, I would imagine they're kind of like a dark gray.
Okay. Seifel's eyes, commonly for a fire fae, his eyes are red, kind of a blood red color. They also have a skin that's pretty deep red themselves. His is almost like kind of like a beet, if you will. Um, and his response is, "What foods does the master enjoy eating?"
Do I look like that fat bastard?
With all due respect, sir, you are much larger than he, and you are much more fit than he.
And you will call me
Probably,
Kirk Paul, or you will call me, well, you don't need to call me master.
Am I anywhere near this exchange, by the way, at this point?
Have you stepped outside the tavern? Because they're out in the front yard right now.
Yeah, I'll probably step out for a little break and stretch while I'm looking around and see this and like,
Then yes,
Kirk
you
Paul.
do this.
You have a new companion? Walk over to him. Hi, I'm Oren.
You see a naked fire fae in front of you.
This is Sable. He'll be joining us, carrying our food and provisions and preparing meals for us.
I look him up and down. I guess at this point I notice the collar. Oh, you brought a slave?
I did.
Sable simply just nods.
They call them thralls around here. Where are you from, Sable?
Mew.
And what gods do you worship there?
Oh, I don't think you would be familiar with our deities.
Okay. I worship the Silent Monolith. So.
Oh.
At this point, of course, I'm looking at him with my physician's eye, if you will. I want to see.
Oh, he is riddled with he's naked, so he is riddled with fucking bruises. He is you kind of expect he was the slaver's whipping boy, like the favorite fucking whipping boy. Sable, like I said, he's got beet red skin. He has his red eyes are actually quite beautiful. His hair is cut short, which is rather odd for Fae. Fae generally like to wear their hair long, but Sable's hair is short and crooked. Like they cut his hair probably to make a red-haired wig for some noble, and they cut it wrong, so it looks like shit.
Okay.
He is missing his left ring finger.
Like recently?
Missing. Yeah, that's scarred over. That's a few cycles. It's a few cycles fresh, really.
Okay. I'll say, Kirk, I'll be right back. I'll run inside and grab one of my poultices and come out, and I guess we need to get him to a bath and cleaned up so we can make sure that he stays healthy. Don't want him falling down halfway to this keep. So
he's visibly shivering at this point.
Okay. I'll come. We'll get you warmed up. So watch him.
I actually wrap him in my cloak and let's see if we can walk him in. What do you think? You think we could sneak him past the bartender?
They got a no slave sign inside.
I doubt it. We could probably at least get him into the stables, and I'm pretty sure that our old friend had still had a few more days left on the stable with his riding beast. So, and get him in some straw so he can at least be warm tonight, and clean him up, get some poultices on some of these bruises and such, and see if we can even keep him healthy. So.
I'll buy you clothes in the morning.
He just says, so long as I've got a dry straw to sleep on. He's just sitting there. He's trembling under that cloak, shaking like a leaf.
Okay. I'll come. Let's get out of the rain. So
he kind of looks up at Kirkfall and he goes, so does the master need an extra knife?
Okay, you call me master again, I'll cut off another finger.
He just kind of looks up at you confused.
What is my name?
Kirkfall.
That's easy, isn't it?
It is. It's
Thank you. What was the question?
Do you need another knife?
Why would it? I'm good. Do you have a knife? Is it
No,
keistered or?
no, I my line of work before slavery, I was a uh,
A warrior of some sort?
um, I was a sailor. We, the word that your kind would use is pirate.
Hmm.
Corsair.
Yes, yes.
I hope you're
Corsair.
understanding by now that basically we have a mutual relationship. I will kill you if you fuck me.
You're worth four silver to him, actually.
So, yeah, I mean, this is Orin. You call him Orin. You call me Kirkfall. And we will treat you like a slave,
And
but
I
we will
cook for
treat
you.
you better than fat ass over there. Now, the more you are, you do a good job, you rise the ladder. Are you with me? One
I'm
day we
with you.
might take the collar off.
I understand.
Okay. And I reach out and I shake his hand, even if it's like I have to pick his hand up and shake it.
He's still wearing cuffs, so.
I just take those off.
Oh, okay.
All he needs is a collar, so I just leave the collar on.
All right.
If I have to
He
break him
goes
off,
and
I'll do that.
just goes and sits down on some straw and waits.
Okay.
And I go grab a piece of bread and take it out there and hand it to him with some water, a glass of water, and I think I can take that out without them freaking
Oh
out.
yeah, of course, yeah.
And I give that to him, and then what were you gonna say, Keith?
I was going to say, I'm going to look while I'm in the process of cleaning him up and checking his wounds. I would also like to sort of do an occult insight roll on him, possibly to see if I see any signs of shadow sickness or anything like that.
Okay.
Just to make sure he's not.
Go for it.
Ooh, there's an 8 and a 6.
Ooh. 8s explode.
Yep. That's another 7. So that's going to be a 15 plus a 6. That's a 21 plus.
He's clean.
Okay. Yeah, 28.
That's a 20. He's clean.
Okay, good. All right.
He's just physically worse for wear.
Yeah. I'll get him cleaned up, get him some poultice, poultice and such on him. I'll look over at as Kirkfall comes up and say, you by chance see if they have any soup? I think a warm meal might be better for him than just some bread.
Oh, they have soup.
Here's a couple pieces of silver for it. I'll hand it.
That's fine. I'll get him some soup.
A healthy slave can carry things further.
Yep. So I'll go get some soup and bring it out to him.
Okay.
Was he offering to be a blade for me, or is he asking if I wanted?
That was essentially that's essentially what he was trying to get across.
Well, there's not enough trust earned yet, so I don't want to give him a blade yet. But
I was a cook. I was a stone hauler. I have tried my hand at a bit of carpentry, but those are the skills that I have. I turned to piracy when the work dried up.
Ever killed a giant?
What's a giant?
Bigger than me.
Not twice the size of Kirkfall.
They get that big?
Apparently.
We don't have that where I come from.
Not where I come from either, but apparently they're nearby. Oh, one is.
Oh. I can feed you. I have
And you won't
no
run.
knowledge of how. I'm not feeding it.
No, we're going to kill it.
Just so you know, things like that are out there in the forest around the area. So if you decide to wander off or something, we really can't, be held responsible for what eats you, because something will.
Oh no, I that will not be a problem, and that is not. He's not. That is not a deception roll. That is not. You don't have to roll for it. As far as you're concerned, the tone, the way he's looking at you, he's serious as a heart attack.
Okay. All right. I'll once I get his basic wounds treated, and make sure that he's well fed and such and ready to bed down. I'll get up and walk over toward the door. And I'll say, "We'll see you in the morning." So turn. I'm going to use whispers of wind to say "sleep well" into his ear.
He just kind of looks a little put off for a few moments, and then kind of brushes it aside, and it's just mutters, "Thank you."
I'll turn and smile back at him and head in. I'm playing good cop, if you haven't noticed.
You're right. Yeah. No. I get that. I appreciate that. That's actually beautiful. Well done.
A good creepy.
Nice. Okay. So, what is Kirkfall actually still down in there with in the stables with Sable?
No, I mean, once we fed him and Orin checked him out, I'm probably leaving with Orin.
Yeah, the last thing you see Sable do is he's kind of like bunching up the straw in a place where he can just kind of like lay half down in it and away from the rain, and just like with this look of, well, how the hell do I make this fucking work here? All right, bunches a bunch of shit up, and he lays down.
Well, I did leave him my cloak.
Oh yeah, he kind of he lays that down. He lays down on it, and then he folds it over him like a blanket.
Mm-hmm. And creates somewhat of a pillow.
Oh yeah. So with that, what? Sorry, what's that?
I was going to say the next morning I'm going to buy him a tunic and some sandals, and I'm going to buy a tunic.
Okay.
So not much, but yeah. Yeah, so he can carry our shit.
Okay. Sable actually Firefey are not nocturnal, so he's up with the cockerel, probably begrudgingly. The goddamn bird was in the stable with him. He's actually standing out in the front paddock of the stable there, just fucking naked and miserable, just standing there.
He didn't have a cloak.
Oh well, he's not wearing the cloak. He's got it folded up actually nicely, and he's holding it out in front of him. As the village is starting to wake up, he's just standing there. And when you guys wake up and you leave the tavern, that is what you will see.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Hey, man, he's a broke slave. That's what he's gonna fucking do.
We'll make sure to bring out some food for him, and as we make our way to, I'll go to the market and buy him a tunic off the rack and some sandals, and so
Okay.
that at least he's not naked anymore.
Right.
I don't know if I should spring for a jacket or not. Considering the weather, it might be best.
Yeah, it's generally high 50s, low 60s here. Well, actually, no, it's a dry season, so it's mid 50s.
But he's a fire fae.
Yeah, they run hotter, so
so it'll be all right.
Yeah, he should be fine.
Okay, so he's got a tunic and sandals, so he looks somewhat normal and might even pass for a regular person.
Until someone sees that collar.
For now, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, you want to continue this next game session then? Because I think we've hit 11:30 here.
Oh, yeah. At this point, I think we'll actually wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll meet you back up next session next week then. Good night, everybody.